If you build a program, a course, a coaching offer, and your clients are not getting the results you promised them, I want to tell you something you probably have not heard before. It is not your content, and it is not your delivery, and it is not your client. It is one specific design flaw that runs through 90% of courses that I review. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. In the next 12 minutes, I am going to show you what it is, how it is costing you results and revenue, and one single test that you can run on your own in 5 minutes to know if you have it or not. Quick context on why I get to say any of this. I've spent 19 years in learning design, teaching, training, building curricula across universities, corporate sales floors, and online educational companies. I currently teach communications in California State Universities and instructional design at a master's level program at Westcliff University. About a year ago, I started getting inquiries from coaches and experts asking me to look into their programs because their clients weren't getting the results and they didn't know why. And I started to see this same pattern over and over and over again. And today, I wanted to talk to you about it. Here's what most experts do when their program's not getting the results. They start adding more things. If their program is not working, they think, okay, I'm not giving enough. So they add more modules, more materials, more video, or they rewrite the whole thing. They spend months rebuilding, relaunching, and watch the same issue happening. And some of them are blaming the customers, and they are not doing the work, and they are not committing enough. And in reality, none of this are the real problem. What I am seeing in a lot of courses, not definable outcome. You're going to feel, there is going to be a change. There is going to be a transformation. All of these are directions. All of these are desired moves, but not definable outcome. A definable outcome is something that your client will be able to do at the end of the course that they weren't able to do before they started the course. Without a definable outcome, your client doesn't understand what done looks like. They can't recognize it, so they can't see their own progress. They started to feel lost, and some of them ask for refunds, but most of them just quietly disappear. It makes you wonder what went wrong. Because you gave it your all, you gave your knowledge, your expertise, you did everything that you could. Most programs design look like this. The expert starts with a wealth of knowledge, and they want to give it all to their customers, to their clients. So they create modules, they record videos, they design materials, and somewhere at the very end, they think, okay, and my client will get this. The outcome first design flips that. We start with the outcome, and that one specific thing drives everything. That one specific what the client will be able to do at the end of the course drives everything we do. That becomes a reverse engineering process. The module exists to make sure that that skill is taught. The activities exist to build that skill required for that outcome. I add assessment to make sure that we are giving that skill, to make sure that we get to that do that the client will be able to do at the end of that program or at the end of that module, at the end of that course. And everything evolves around that do. So we're making sure that at the end of the course, the client is able to do something they couldn't do before. And when this happens, when we have this outcome, 3 things happened. Your marketing becomes clear because you understand what you are selling and your client understands what they're buying. Compare these two. At the end of my course, you will feel like a confident speaker. How does that and looks like? How is the done looks like? How do I know if I feel confident, right? Or if I say, at the end of this course, at the end of this program, you will be able to deliver a 60 minutes keynote that will gain you or will allow you the opportunity to get a speaking arrangement. That's a difference. Something that you can measure and something that is very vague, that you're not sure what that is. And that is the difference between the definable outcome and a vague feeling that you promise to your customer. Second, your client understands the progress in their journey. They understand how they are progressing toward their end goal. So they are engaged and involved in the process. And third, there's no refund because your client is involved. They are learning, they are in it, they are loving it. This sounds obvious, but when I say this, but 90% of courses don't have it. Experts create modules, they have syllabuses, they have videos, they have learning materials, but they don't have outcomes. And that is the underlying problem why we have all kinds of complaints in our courses. So let me give you one simple way to check it. I call it a 1-sentence outcome test. I have a piece of paper that we can do this exercise. I am going to give you a sentence and I would like for you to finish it. And that's how we're going to test if you have this as your product or don't. Here is the sentence. At the end of my course, my client will be able to, and you will finish it with a verb. But before you do, 3 rules for the verb. First, the verb needs to be a concrete verb and not an abstract verb. What do I mean by that? A concrete verb is something that we can see and measure, like create, deliver, do. An abstract verb would be feel, understand, be. So we want something that we can see physically them do. Second rule, it needs to be something that we can measure, specific enough that you and a client can both agree on that it happened. Improve communication skills doesn't work because what is improve? How do we measure improve? But deliver a 10-minute speech without a notes passes because it's 10 minutes and without notes we can both agree that it happened. And rule number 3 is just one verb. Not a list, not a bullet points, not a checklist, just one verb, just one sentence. So go ahead and do it and I will wait. Go for it. Curious. So here's what most people experience when they do this. In the very beginning of this exercise, a few abstract verbs would want to jump out, like I am going to help my clients to feel more confident or to understand how this works. And that's normal because that is something that you've been doing for so long. But as you do this exercise, a second attempt and a third attempt, we make our brain think, and we start thinking, okay, how do we measure this? So the first attempt may look like, okay, we're going to transform the business. The second attempt may look something like scale how much we do this. The third, fourth, fifth attempt may come up with, okay, create a marketing plan. So the more you do it, the more you start thinking, where does this taking me? And that is how you design the outcome. And if you having a challenge between that abstract and that concrete verb, that is where your gap most likely is. And that is something that we can review if you choose to have a conversation with me. We can point that gap together. So here's what I wanted to do before our session together. Finish this exercise if you haven't yet and do it a few more times. Don't worry about getting it perfect. It's just a matter of going through this in your mind. And then bring whatever you have to our session. All your verbs, all your words, all your sentences, all your phrases, because all of them are important. On our call, we'll dive deeper. We'll look into your product. We'll look into your current results. We'll look into your gaps. We'll look into your structure. We will look at your modules and everything that you have. And we will see where that gap is. We will see where we drop in our clients, our learners, and we will see what is costing you those results and what is costing you that revenue. And from there, we will see how do we fill that gap. I am looking forward to see you soon.